Hello everyone, welcome back. We are up and running the World Senior Snooker Championship, and making his debut on the Seniors Tour, Joe Perry. He got off to a flying start against Fabio Lersin, who's come all the way from Brazil. It was his crucible debut. He put in a great performance, but not good enough. And it's Joe Perry that powers through to the quarterfinals here in Sheffield. We've already heard a little bit from Joe with Rob Walker after that match, but good stuff. It was really high quality, wasn't it?
It felt like it to me, yeah. It felt like it was a good standard. You know, I thought if I could get off to a good start, I didn't know how I was going to play either. You know, I don't sort of put the hours in these days. So I thought, get off to a good start, put him under pressure. It would probably be a shrinking violet, but that wasn't the case.
Oh, no. And I was watching on with Rhiannon Evans and Neil Foles. And Foles, you were really impressed with Fabio today.
I was. I think maybe, Joe, we've just got to accept now that everyone can play the game now. You just had an amateur win the World Championships. I know that's different, but it just goes to show you that as soon as you saw him hit the ball, he could play, couldn't he?
Well, like I say, I saw the draw, and like, you shouldn't do this, but I thought, oh, I've never heard of him, he'd be useless. And then before I just went out to play, I was practicing on the next table to him, and he didn't miss one. I thought, oh dear, I better sharpen up a bit here.
Rhiannon, I can't believe he's actually admitted that live on TV.
He's a true gentleman, isn't he?
Well, the thing is, I think I know like loads and loads of snooker players. I keep an eye on everything, the amateurs, the seniors, everything. And I've genuinely never heard this guy's name before, never seen it, so I didn't know what to expect. But well, I got a bit of a fright there.
I must admit, I was thinking that when you said you didn't know, because Joe does know everybody, doesn't he, Rhiannon? You know, he's one of these people, you can tell him about a player from Australia or anywhere, he knows them all.
Yeah.
But there you are. If you don't know him, then maybe you need to do more homework, actually.
Well,
on the bet.
I think you're right, Neil.
There.
Yeah, but you said you saw him playing in the practice room. I did too, and I thought, well, we can cue the ball. And then his first shot, that long red, I bet you thought, yeah, I've got it in now.
No, I knew I was in for a game when I see him practice. And normally you can get an idea. Not, you know, they'll miss a couple because it's nervous out there. But when you see someone hit the ball, you know they know what they're doing. And I knew very early on I was in for I'd have to play well to win.
That break he made as well to get back into the game, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I was cursing myself there because obviously there's a nice prize on offer for a 147, and I was genuinely going for it, but I just overhit it. And then I didn't have time to get the long rest out.
Are you needing a new set of wheels?
Well, everyone needs a new set of wheels.
We have, of course, got a brand new car, which is almost old school, isn't it, for the 147 prize. For
Don't mention it to Ken Doherty, because don't forget in the Masters he missed the last black to win a car. So we better not mention it in front of him, because it'll bring back old memories. I'll tell you what, last thing I said about Fabio, he had a lot of cue pad, didn't he? A couple of shots he played. He played a shot with a cue ball. I don't think all the things with I don't think this was the one it was, but that was the opening red, which was brilliant. And then he played another shot later on, which the cue ball seemed to go like banana round. I think he went off into the green pocket. This is unbelievable, Joe, is it?
Yeah, I was disappointed when it went off because I wanted to see where it was going to end up. I think I had a chance of ending up in Rotherham, that one.
It's phenomenal, Rhiannon, isn't it? We couldn't believe what we've seen.
We're like, is it Judd Trump? Is it Jimmy White? Who is this guy?
Or Igor Figueiredo, he's got a bit of that in the locker himself.
Loads of cue power.
Joe, I got to ask you, recently retired from snooker. Was it an emotional end? Obviously, on the professional ranks, it's great that you're with us here on the seniors, but how emotional and how tough was that decision to retire?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't that tough. I've been thinking about it for a long time, about 18 months now. So I'll give myself this season to see if I sort of was really 100% ready to retire. And I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy this season at all. So I knew it was the right time to call it a day. And so it was, in the end, it wasn't a tough decision at all.
And you're spending all your time and focus on the Thunder from down under, Neil Robertson. Is he supporting you today? Is he watching on?
Well, he sent me a message yesterday, asked me if I've been practicing, and I said not enough. So he sort of had a few words with me, told me to, sort myself out. But I think he'll be watching today, yeah.
All right, well, I'm sure he'll be delighted with that performance as we take a look at the draw then. Joe Perry through, beating Fabio Lersin, and he will be playing the winner of Dominic Dale and Craig Steadman. I mean, two players you know so well, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Dominic's class act, isn't he? He's been here many times before, ranking event winner. I'll be honest, Craig Steadman is someone I know very, very well, but I think he's one of the very few people I never played on the Pro Tour. So maybe that's an omen. Maybe Craig might get through today. But either way, it's a tough match in store for me. I
think Dominic will be very shy coming out here, won't he? Very colourful character. And we can hear plenty from him. Looking forward to his match against Craig Steadman. Earlier, he spoke to Rob Walker.
My decision to retire was quite an easy one, really, because a couple of seasons ago I put in a lot of practice, and apparently I had my second best ever season as a professional. But this last season that's just gone now, I realised that I just couldn't put the hours in. I get a lot of pain in my shoulders, inflammation in my finger joints sometimes. Never know that's going to come on. It can happen in a match sometimes. And practicing was just become, pure drudgery and tedium. I hated it. So I thought, I can't compete against these younger players and expect to play at my best and beat them with the little practice I'm doing. So I just sort of meandered my way through the season and waiting for the time to come, when I've been knocked out of the world and I could retire. But it's an easy decision for me to make, and there are no regrets whatsoever. Yeah, I've got a lot of great memories, really. Winning the Shanghai Masters was special to me first, because when I was a youngster, for some reason I loved China. I don't know why. So to go there in 2007 and win the Shanghai Masters was very special, but winning the shootout as well, that's right up my street. And it was great to have that on the calendar, and to have won it in 2014 at Blackpool as well, it was very special. So it's great to have witnessed snooker as well in so many different eras, and see the way that the game's progressed through the decades has been fascinating. And it's amazing to think that the class of '92 are still going strong, but this one's retired anyway for now. This will be my first ever seniors tournament, yeah, and it comes pretty much off the back of my final professional tournament in the qualifiers where I lost, so that was only about a month ago now, so hopefully my form's still there. It means a lot, I don't want to come here and lose or play poorly. My game has to be in some sort of a shape. Obviously, having just retired, there's been a few parties and celebratory ones that I don't have to devote my life to snooker anymore. But obviously then you've got to turn your attention to the seniors. So I've had a few days practice, a couple of hours a day, and I just want my game to be in some sort of a shape. I don't want to come here thinking I'm dreadfully out of form. It'd mean the world to lift the trophy here. I mean, I've been practicing a lot, obviously, throughout the snooker season. It wasn't long before I've retired, so my game's still in decent shape. And obviously I'm still used to going out there in front of a big audience and TV cameras and everything, perhaps more than some of the other guys we're playing. So I'm confident that I can perform well enough to win the title. I'll try, and let's hope I do.
Well, he's born to entertain, Dominic Dale. There is no doubt about that. He mentioned the snooker shootout, and that was right up his street. He sang Frank Sinatra afterwards. A very, very colourful character, but he's a fantastic player. I mean, putting all that aside, Dominic is a very, very good snooker player. Yeah, he plays himself down over the years, but he's definitely a good snooker player. He's old school. He knows his way around the table. He can score for fun as well. I've actually played him, and you don't see it until you play them up close and personal. So yeah, I think he's a fantastic player, and he's definitely one of the favourites for this event. And he made the Crucible proper in the professional tournament last year. He bumped into Karen Wilson. He actually made a century break, didn't he? Yeah, look, Dominic's been a good player for a long time, I mean, Rianne's played him. I'm old enough in the game, but I've played him a few times as well. He's been around a good few years. He's a wonderful ball striker, he brings the cue back. He's old school in the way he hits the ball, and I'll be surprised if he didn't play well, because that's what Dominic does, He's got a good game still. Yeah, another class of '92, and I think this is a very toned down Dominic. I was expecting like a bright pink shirt and maybe bleached hair or something. Maybe his shining's going to be on the table, maybe going to get a few big breaks and a few great shots, but as he says, he's such a great ball striker, so under pressure, he's going to feel the nerves out there, because it's a little different of a stage for him, so yeah. Seniors, here he comes. He'll be all business, that's for sure. I will say one thing, though. Craig Steadman is a good player. As Joe pointed out, he is a good player. He's actually one of two players that's beaten the world champion this season, Zhao Jintong. In the first of the Q Tour events, he beat him. And in the next one, he lost by the odd frame to him. So I know that's a long time ago, and Jintong has come on leaps and bounds since then. But he has beaten him this year. The other one was Sean Murphy in the UK. So if you believe in stuff like that, then he's not out of it, and I think he is in with a chance. Yeah, massive chance. And in your experience, Craig Steadman, just how good is he? He's one of the very high amateurs. He's always on and off the tour, so he just can't get a foothold on the main tour, but definitely is a very dangerous player. He can score very heavy once he gets going. Yeah, former professional, and of course we'll be looking forward to taking on Dominic Dale in our second match in this World Senior Snooker Championship. Both of them on the practice table, both of them desperate for the win, and they'll certainly be enjoying this wonderful Crucible Theatre. It's all on the way after the break.